Hello, welcome to Walk in God's Purpose podcast. We are your host. I am Lorna, and this is
Monique.
this is our first episode of our podcast. It's not going to be a long one. We just want to talk to you a little about what we hope to achieve with this podcast. So we are aiming for about 30 minutes per episode, and we are planning to upload weekly. However, we both work full time as educators, and our jobs can be very demanding. So there is a possibility that we may miss some weeks. Uh, we do hope to discuss a broad range of topics on this podcast, such as like singleness, dating, courtship, marriage, health, and so on and so forth. So now we're going to get into a little bit about why it is that we're doing this. So I am going to turn it over to Monique so she can tell you a little bit about that. We are doing it as ministry, as the name suggests. So she will get into a little bit about how she came to this ministry with me. Monique?
The funny thing is you guys can't see my face because I am shocked that she passed it over to me first. I didn't think that's how it was going to go. But um, my name is Monique. I've been friends with Lorna for over 10 years. And
Mm-hmm.
early on into our friendship, we talked about starting a podcast. And this summer, I texted her. I asked her, when is she going to start the podcast? And well, by God's grace, here we are starting. With ministry, I remember as a Pathfinder, a little girl, that we would have to give out tracts. And that was daunting for me. I love God. I did want to give out tracts, but I am so shy. It was pretty scary for me to just walk up to a stranger and give a tract. And then God led me to a different ministry because we have different personality. God works with us. And he showed me that I could pray for people. I also enjoyed sharing my belief. And there are many times Jehovah's Witness will walk by my house, they would stop. I was 13 and I was talking to adults about my belief. And then as I got older, I see God calling me into writing books, which I haven't done, into starting a YouTube channel, which I haven't done. But I've always wanted to share my belief with others. It's a way of leading others to Christ. That's what this podcast is to me, a way to share my belief system and to somehow get others to know about God and be drawn close to God. At the same time, I myself getting closer to God. So that's what this podcast is for me. Just a nice platform to share with a friend to talk about God.
Thank you, Monique. I am pretty similar. I People think I'm an extrovert, but I'm actually not. I'm an introvert. But when I need to do something, I lean on the Holy Spirit, and then I guess an extroverted type of personality comes out. But I am really quite introverted. So I've always wanted to do ministry as well, share my beliefs, and not just spiritual aspect of just about Christianity, but I very much like family life ministries as well. So, but of course connected to Christianity. And I've always wanted to do that, but I am quite introverted and shy, so I did not want to do it alone. And and then I met Monique, and we both
Who's
wanted
also
to do this,
introverted.
who is also introverted, and we both wanted to do something. So it was like, okay, let's lean on each other. Let's both be each other's strength, and let's see if we can pull this out of each other. So we've been talking about it, like he said, for uh several years without getting to do it. So we decided this summer that we're just going to dive in. We are not experts.
Hmm?
To be quite frankly, we don't really know what we're doing. So we're leaning on the Holy Spirit to guide. And as she said, this is for ministry and to save souls and to point people to Jesus. So if that means one person, we are quite okay with it. We're doing this strictly for ministry. So we are learning as we go. And I always wanted to do ministry. Like I said, I'm shy, so I thought this was a pretty good alternative to do it, and hopefully to reach more people that we would not have reached otherwise, because this can go around the world essentially. So this is a way to reach as much people and people who we might not have met in person by doing this. So that is my reason for doing this podcast. Anything else you'd like to add, Monique?
Well, for me, it's we want you to join us on the journey, because as much as we're reaching out to others, we're going to be talking to ourselves first, that internal perspective as well. Perspective is not the word that I'm looking for, but as we're studying and diving into these different topics, I'm sure we're going to be learning more about yourself. And it's a journey that we want you to come along with us, and hope you will have fun with us along the way.
Okay, so as I said earlier, this episode is going to be pretty short. It's just an introduction. So next week we hope to talk about singleness. So that should be interesting. So next week, our second episode, we will dive into singleness, and of course, it's singleness being a Christian, not just single. So singleness as a Christian, follower of Christ. Not just going to church like a true follower,
but enjoying it. And
but enjoying it.
All right.
Right.
We will see you next week.
Yes, we will.